Hi, I'm Mia. I'm 25 and working at the Paws and Claws animal shelter while hustling to become a full-fledged vet. It's not glamorous, but every day I get to help animals in need, and that's what matters to me. This morning, I woke up to the familiar sound of Whiskers, my tabby cat, purring on my chest. She's been with me since I was a kid, my constant companion through thick and thin. "Morning, furball," I said, scratching behind her ears. "Ready for breakfast?" As I poured her food, my phone buzzed. It was Sarah, my best friend since high school. "Hey girl, we still on for coffee later?" "You bet." I replied. I need to vent about family drama. Again. At the shelter, I couldn't shake this nagging feeling about my brother Jake's latest business idea. He's always chasing these get-rich-quick schemes, and my parents just eat it up. It's like they've got blinders on when it comes to him. Later, at the coffee shop with Sarah, I finally let it all out. "I swear, Sarah, if Jake asks me for money one more time, I'm going to lose it." Sarah rolled her eyes. "Girl, you need to stand your ground. What about your dream of opening your own clinic?" I know, but it's hard when my parents are constantly on his side. It's like I'm invisible unless they need something from me." Just then, my phone rang. Speak of the devil, it was Jake. "Hey sis, got a minute?" I sighed, mouthing it's him to Sarah. "What's up, Jake?" "So I've got this amazing opportunity," he started, his voice dripping with fake enthusiasm. "But I need a little capital to get it off the ground. Think you could spot me a loan?" I pinched the bridge of my nose, feeling a headache coming on. "Jake, we've been through this. Remember the food truck fiasco, or the revolutionary juicer? This is different, I swear. It's a sure thing this time." "Sorry, but no, I'm saving up for my own goals, you understand, right?" The line went quiet for a moment. "Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out myself," he muttered before hanging up without saying goodbye. Sarah gave me a sympathetic look. "You did the right thing, Mia." I nodded, but I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in my gut. That evening, I trudged up to the house, exhausted from a long day at the shelter. "Whiskers, I'm home." I called out, expecting her to greet me at the door like always. But the house was eerily quiet. "Whiskers, here, kitty, kitty." I searched every room, my heart racing. That's when I noticed my parents acting strange. "Mom, Dad, have you seen Whiskers?" They exchanged a glance that made my stomach drop. "Oh, honey," my mom started, not meeting my eyes. "I'm sure she's around here somewhere." Dad jumped in, a little too quickly, probably just out exploring. You know how cats are. But Whiskers was an indoor cat. She never went outside. Something was very, very wrong. "What aren't you telling me?" I demanded, my voice shaking. They fumbled for words, making excuses about being late for some event as they rushed out. I stood there, a horrible realization dawning on me. Whatever happened to Whiskers, my family knew about it, and judging by their behavior, it wasn't good. The next morning, I hit the streets like a woman possessed. "Have you seen this cat?" I must have asked 100 people, shoving Whiskers' photo in their faces, but no one had seen her. I plastered posters all over town, my hands shaking as I stapled them to telephone poles. "Please somebody, anybody," I muttered, fighting back tears. After a fruitless day, I dragged myself home, praying that Whiskers had somehow magically reappeared. Instead, I walked into a shouting match. We had no choice. That was Dad's voice coming from the kitchen. "No choice?" "You sold her cat," Jake yelled back. I froze, my blood turning to ice. "Sold? They sold Whiskers?" Mom's voice was pleading now. It was a necessary sacrifice. "Think of the money, Jake. Think of Mia's future." I burst into the kitchen, seeing red. What the hell is going on? Where's Whiskers? The guilty looks on their faces said it all. For once, Jake looked ashamed. "Mia, I can explain." "Explain what?" "That you sold my cat." I was shaking with rage. "Honey, it's not what you think," Mom started. "Really? Because it sounds like you sold my best friend for cash." Jake stepped forward. "Look, I messed up, okay? I owed some guy money, and this lab was offering big bucks for test subjects. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Test subjects. You sold Whiskers to a lab for experiments." "Mia, sweetie," Dad chimed in. "The money is going into your inheritance fund. It's for your future." "My future? You think I care about money when you sent my cat to be tortured?" "It's not torture, it's science," Jake said, as if that made it better. I lost it. Science, it's animal cruelty. How could you do this? Mom tried to hug me, but I shoved her away. Don't touch me. You're all monsters. I ran to my room, threw some clothes in a bag, and called Sarah. Can I crash at your place? I can't stay here another minute. An hour later, I was on Sarah's couch, sobbing into a pint of ice cream. They sold him, Sarah. They sold Whiskers to a lab for money. Sarah hugged me tight. That's messed up, Mia. What are you going to do? I sat up, wiping my eyes. I'm going to find that lab, and I'm going to get Whiskers back. The next few days were a blur of research. I dug up everything I could on animal testing labs in the area. One name kept popping up, Biogenics Research Facility. I was scoping the place out when this guy approached me, tall, scruffy, and looking like he hadn't slept in days. You looking to expose these guys too? He asked. I eyed him suspiciously. Who's asking? He stuck out his hand. Alex, investigative journalist. I've been tracking Biogenics for months. Something shady is going on in there. I shook his hand. I'm Mia. They have my cat. I need to get him back. Alex's eyes widened. Your cat? Damn, that's low, even for them. Listen, I think we can help each other out. I got some leads, but I need someone on the inside. You in? I looked at the towering Biogenics building, thinking of Whiskers, scared and alone inside. I'm in. Whatever it takes. Alex and I hit the ground running, like some twisted version of Batman and Robin. If Batman was a sleep-deprived journalist and Robin was a pissed-off vet assistant. One night, Alex was hunched over his laptop. Your brother's into some seriously shady stuff, Mia. I've been digging, and it's not just the cat thing. He's neck-deep in insider trading, tax evasion, you name it, he's probably done it. I felt sick. God, I knew he was a screw-up. But this is next level. We can use this, Alex mused. Leverage against the lab. But first, we need eyes inside. That's how I found myself mopping floors at Biogenics, wearing an itchy janitor's uniform and trying not to gag at the smell. Just act natural, I kept telling myself, snapping discreet photos with a hidden camera whenever I could. One night, I hit the jackpot. I overheard two scientists talking. The latest batch isn't responding well to the treatment. Up the dosage, we need results before the FDA inspection. But the side effects, not our problem. Just do it. I felt my blood boil. These people didn't care about the animals at all. Then I saw him, Whiskers in a cage, looking so small and scared. I wanted to grab him and run, but I knew I couldn't. Not yet. I had to play the long game. I'm so sorry, buddy, I whispered. I'll get you out of here, I promise. Weeks passed. Alex and I built our case, piece by damning piece. Photos, recordings, financial records. We had it all. This is it, Mia, Alex said, holding up a flash drive. Everything we need to bring these bastards down. We sent anonymous tips to every news outlet and law enforcement agency we could think of. Then we waited. While we waited for the hammer to fall on Biogenics, I decided it was time for a family chat. I stormed into my parents' house and slapped a folder of evidence on the kitchen table. You want to know what your precious Jake's really been up to? I snarled. Tax fraud, insider trading, selling animals for illegal experiments. He's going down, and he might drag you down with him. Mom's face went pale. Dad stuttered. Now, Mia, I'm sure there's an explanation. An explanation? Are you kidding me? He sold my cat. He's been breaking the law left and right, and you're still defending him. He's family, Mom said weakly. I laughed bitterly. Family? You want to talk about family? I'm your daughter too, remember? As I stormed out, I heard Mom start to cry. Part of me wanted to turn back to comfort her, but a bigger part knew this was long overdue. They had made their bed, and now they had to lie in it. Back at Sarah's, I paced nervously. What if it's not enough, Alex? What if they get away with it? Alex put a reassuring hand on my shoulder. They won't. Trust me, Mia, the truth always comes out. I nodded, trying to believe him. As the sun set, I stared out the window, thinking of Whiskers and all the other animals still trapped in that lab. Hang in there, guys, I whispered. Justice is coming. The day of the raid, I was a bundle of nerves. Alex and I watched from across the street as cop cars and animal control vans swarmed biogenics. It was chaos. "Miss, you can't go in there," an officer shouted as I rushed toward the building. "My cat's in there," I yelled back, ducking under the police tape. Inside it was pandemonium. Scientists were being cuffed, animals were howling. And in the middle of it all, I heard a familiar meow. "Whiskers," I cried, spotting him in his cage. I scooped him up, holding him close. "I've got you, buddy. You're safe now." As I helped rescue other animals, I saw Jake being led out in handcuffs. "Mia," he called out. "Tell them this is a mistake." I stared at him coldly. The only mistake was trusting you, Jake. The fallout was brutal. Jake's arrest was all over the news, along with his laundry list of crimes. My parents' phones rang off the hook with reporters and angry business associates. I overheard Mom on the phone one day. "No, please, we had no idea. Of course, we're still good for the investment. Hello, the family business tanked." Former friends crossed the street to avoid my parents. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. Meanwhile, I had my hands full. The settlement from biogenics was substantial, and I knew exactly what to do with it. Mia's Miracle Animal Sanctuary. Sarah read the sign as we stood in front of the sprawling property. "It's perfect, Mia." I grinned, watching the rescued animals roam freely. It's a new start for all of us. Later that night, I sat on the porch with Whiskers purring in my lap. I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the fight for justice, the hard choices I'd had to make. "We did it, Whiskers," I said softly, scratching behind his ears. "We made it through." As I looked out over the sanctuary, at all the animals we'd saved, a sense of peace washed over me. This was where I belonged. This was my real family now. Sure, the road had been tough. There were days I doubted everything. But sitting here, surrounded by the fruits of our labor, I knew it had all been worth it. Mia's journey through betrayal and triumph has come to an end. Now I have a question for you. If you were in Mia's shoes, would you ever forgive your family for betraying your trust and selling your beloved pet, even if they claimed it was for your future benefit? Or do you believe some actions are truly unforgivable? Share your thoughts in the comments below.